You're watching the station that cares for you. KWQC TV6 Quad Cities. Live from the Quad Cities' #1 station for news, this is KWQC TV6 News at 10.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Marcia Lenz, and we begin our first 6 minutes in Clinton, Iowa, where there's a divisive side to the town's traditional holiday display. Some residents wanted to put up a lighted nativity in a city park that's all decorated for the season, but the city of Clinton turned them down. KWQC's Jason DeRusha joins us now from the newsroom. And Jason, why?
Well, it's that old issue of separation of church and state. Just this past week, some University of Iowa employees protested a school policy which prohibited religious symbols in the dorm. The school backed off a bit, but in Clinton, the city hasn't budged. Residents are not fighting City Hall yet, but Christmas in Clinton will still be brightened with a nativity display.
The lights of Mary, Joseph, and Jesus are turned on tonight. The scene at St. Irenaeus Cemetery isn't where organizers originally wanted it.
The city explained that we couldn't have a religious display due to federal law.
Hofer wanted the display with the rest of Clinton's Symphony of Lights. That's in Eagle Point Park. The park is owned by the city of Clinton, and the city wouldn't allow the nativity scene.
People went through the Eagle Point Park display, and they saw that there was no nativity, and they said, hey, aren't we missing the point here?
So Hofer, Burke, and other community members came together. But rather than spend their energy fighting about where the nativity set should be placed, the group decided to start raising some money and get the set placed out where people can see it now. The nativity is right off the road that leads into the park, but the scene isn't complete yet.
Stable that goes behind the bulk of the display, that's a $2,800 piece. So each of these are very expensive to order, and we've got 6 pieces on order now, and we've got about 7 more that we need. So we're still looking for more funds to come in.
They've got $1,400 so far. Despite the legal troubles, the display shines bright.
And that's what Christmas is all about. Without Christ, you wouldn't have Christmas.
The Clinton Ministerial Association is taking donations in care of the Lutheran Church of the Atonement. That's at 1500 2nd Avenue South in Clinton, Iowa. The zip code there is 52732. Now, the whole nativity set costs about $15,000. Very expensive. They've got about another $10,000 left to earn. Reporting live in the newsroom, Jason DeRusha, KWQC TV6 News.
Are they planning on trying to ever move that nativity into the main display, Jason?
Well, Marcia, that is the goal of organizers and of many people in the community. There is some talk about doing that. Nothing formal so far. The group is doing some legal research, and they're probably going to try again next year to get that display in the park.
And it is a beautiful display indeed. Thanks, Jason, for that report. There are many things that remind us that the holiday season is here, and one of those things might be the Salvation Army bell ringer with the red kettle. They're just about everywhere, so it seems. But as KWQC's Beth Perry reports, they're actually in fewer locations this year than they'd like to be.
There aren't as many bells ringing this holiday season, at least not as many as the Salvation Army would like. That's because there's a shortage of ringers.
All the things that people find that they have to do, particularly at this time of the year, it seems to be the last thing on the agenda, and they just gets bypassed day after day after day.
And less help means less coins tumbling into the kettles. At the rate they're going, the Salvation Army will fall short of their holiday goal by more than $25,000. So in order to compensate for the lack of volunteers, the Salvation Army has some paid ringers.
I do this because it is helping people. This is my choice. This is what I want to do, and it makes me feel good for the seasons and the holidays. It gives me the Christmas spirit, knowing that there's other people out there being helped, like they helped me.
Definitely, it's not the best jobs that there is, particularly if it goes real cold, like we have had for several days. When it gets down into the low 20s and it's dismal day out and it's rainy or snowy.
Okay, so coming here to volunteer won't necessarily give you a glamorous job or even necessarily a warm job, but if you believe any of the volunteers who we talk with today, it will certainly be a fulfilling job. In Moline, Beth Perry, KWQC TV6 News.
If you would like to volunteer to ring for the Salvation Army, you can contact Major Jack Vaughn at the Moline office. The number is 764-7403. The holiday collecting goes until December 24th. The volunteers may not be there, but the need remains. In fact, according to a new survey, more Americans are seeking emergency food and shelter despite an improving economy. According to a survey of 29 cities, requests for emergency housing rose 3%. Requests for emergency food rose 16%. Meanwhile, a totally different story in Moorhead, Minnesota and Fargo, North Dakota. There, the Salvation Army kettles are overflowing. The donations are way up thanks to the media coverage during the spring floods and a great turnout by bell ringers. Reporter Mel Stone introduces us to one of those special bell ringers.
This is, by far, will be our best year.
Thank you. Merry Christmas.
I don't know what to attribute that to, but I know we're doing very well here.
Playing a different tune yesterday. Yeah, I played all time tunes. Thank you. Merry Christmas.
Ron Bell.
Yep, and ringing the bell
is one good reason.
I had a third bell, but I know I'll drop that, so I just stick with two.
You give a little more because he is putting on a show. He is putting on, entertaining people.
Hey, yes, ma'am. For a good cause, you gotta have fun, you know?
I was a little concerned when he told me that he juggled bells.
Doing this for 4 years now, and I've seen the people that ring the bell for something, they just have one bell, and they just stand there, and, that don't look kind of, they just stand there and just look lazy.
I said, well, we're a little more conservative here in Fargo Moorhead. I don't know how well that'll go over, but people are responding very well.
How we doing today?
Fine. I like your rhythm.
All right. I try, You try.
Where he's working now, he's more than doubled what we were doing prior to his standing at this particular site.
Thank you. Merry Christmas. That's great. Saturday I had filled up 3 buckets. Yesterday I filled up 2 buckets, so today I'm gonna try to work on 3 buckets a day.
Whatever works. And there are fewer bell ringers asking to be paid this year in the Fargo flooded area as well. Now another kind of bell. For 40 years, the bell at the Clinton County Courthouse has been silent. But the bell is now restored. A Clinton engineer was reading about the history of the courthouse, which just celebrated its 100th birthday. He wondered if there was a way to get the bell back in working order. Jeff Anderson got about 20 of his custom-packed co-workers together. They did welding, rewiring. The workers even wrote new software that drives the timing mechanism for the bell. All the equipment and the man-hours were donated by Custom Pack. 1997 has been a rough year for Iowa's largest farmer-owned business. West Liberty Foods bought out the former Lewis Rich plant and began processing turkeys in January. Since then, 3 owners have left the cooperative, and the remaining 42 have kicked in several $1 million to keep the plant going. The cooperative expected to sell turkey at nearly $2 a pound, but the average price this year has been less than $1.50. The CEO of the plant says they have a plan to keep it operating. Well, it is the 10th anniversary of a weather phenomenon that shut down the Quad Cities. Do you remember thunder snow? It was a storm that began on December 14th, 1987. Nearly a foot of snow fell within 18 hours. And yes, there was thunder and wind gusts up to 50 miles per hour. The storm closed highways and forced the cancellation of flights at the Quad City Airport. Schools and many businesses also closed the next day.
Wow.
That was a storm.
And you think the 4 inches we had to deal with the other day was a big deal? Ooh.
And everybody wants to know why I remember that, and that was the day we moved to the Quad Cities. What a welcome.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we stayed.
I was in Arizona that time, probably sunning under a palm tree. That's why. Wow. Well, a lot of people like to see a white Christmas around here. Again, I'm sure we had one that year. But it doesn't look like there's a whole lot of hope for that. As a matter of fact, the snow we have on the ground will probably be all gone in about the next couple of days. So
I don't think we'll miss it.
Well, it'll live on in your imagination. And if not, just call us. We'll rerun that video. Mostly clear tonight. Cool, 18 to 24 for the lows. But once those southwest winds start to kick in, our temperatures should actually start to rise a little bit, starting off here in the Quad Cities at about 24 degrees, mostly clear and frosty. And we should see our first day of 40-degree weather tomorrow, and that'll start a string that should last through most of the new week. And within about the next 2 or 3 days, I expect most of the snow that's out there to quickly become a memory. Just another memory.
It was nice to see the sun today. I mean,
it sure was.
In full force.
It's about time, and it looks like much more sun on the way for the next few days as well.
All right, we'll check back with you. Thanks,
Okay.
Eric. And you're going to want to stick around this half hour because we're going to show you what happens when a moose and a holiday lights display mix. It's an amusing result. But first, we'll check in on holiday shopping and take you to one mall where finding a parking spot is no problem and no charge.
When I was a boy, I was always fascinated with how things worked, especially light. Well, now that I'm older, I'm still fascinated by light. That's why I'm a NECA IBEW certified electrician. You see, NECA IBEW trains and keeps training its electricians in safety, technology, and more. That's why places like the Mart choose us for their electrical needs. We brought light to the Centennial Bridge, and we even bring light to homes so little people can still do science experiments. Give us a call.
There's a tug of war lately as to which seed company is the most innovative. The company with the vision to bring better, innovative products to market first. The NK brand from Novartis Seeds was first with BT technology. As part of the world's largest ag supplier, the NK brand carries a lot of weight. Against Novartis Seeds, other companies might find themselves slipping. NK brand products from Novartis Seeds. When it comes to innovation, we've got a lot of pull.
Now let's go to Scott Hamilton for color commentary. Scotty?
Stan, I thought I'd seen it all, but they're really going for style points this season. In women's singles, that's near perfection. Oh, a triple anorak. This is a very strong showing. We're seeing the compulsory reds and greens, but it's coupled with a trend towards colorful interpretation, a break with tradition. And some of the judges aren't going to like that.
Find the brightest holiday gifts at Target.
If you haven't done your holiday shopping yet, you're not alone. Thousands of people are heading off to area shopping malls, filling up parking spaces. KWQC's Jason Schultz introduces us to a local service that does the parking for you.
The hunt for the perfect parking space begins close to the entrance, but sooner or later you end up across the lot, forced to walk. Well, not anymore.
Goodness gracious, I'm taking advantage of this today, huh?
Ethelene Jones is parking her car at the front door and letting Todd Finch of Quad City Valet do the parking for her.
This is my first time.
What do you think?
I think it's just gorgeous. I don't have to walk.
It started off slow. It's steadily progressed. The weekends are starting to pick up with the holidays, of course. It's more busy now, and we've had a lot of repeat business. Once the customers use the service, it seems like they're coming back and using it again.
When the temperature dips into the below freezing mark and people find themselves parking way out here at the edge of the parking lot, Todd expects his business to pick up.
Hi there.
Hello.
How you doing?
Fine.
South Park Mall found out that customers wanted something done about parking in a recent survey.
They wanted parking lot shuttles. Well, we thought that we could take that one better and offer valet parking.
They don't have to fight looking around for parking spots? Well, I'm lazy, yes, okay.
That's what she said.
Oh, I am lazy, but it's also nice. You don't have to drive all around trying to find a parking spot.
Deb Ramirez has used this service before. For her, it's purely for convenience. And for Deb's husband, it means saving time to do more important things.
I got an NFL ticket at home, and I'd rather be at home watching a game right now.
In Moline, Jason Schultz, KWQC TV6 News.
Can't have it all. Just a reminder, the valet parking service is free, and if you want to know what hours it's available, call South Park Mall. It was a good weekend for retailers at South Park Mall. Traffic numbers are above last year, and nationally, retailers reported stepped-up business as well. Until now, many national retailers reported sluggish holiday sales, with more people just looking than those buying. But with Christmas just 11 days away, things are looking up for retailers across the country. Something that's a real hot seller, a Powerball ticket. The multi-state lottery game is offering a big prize, $66 million. That's the highest jackpot level in nearly 2 years. Yesterday, tickets were selling at a rate of more than 600 per minute. We'll find out if there's a winner during next Wednesday's drawing. Something not so hot in Florida, the wettest December in 90 years. Rain fell for another day in the Tampa area, causing widespread flooding and a lot of disappointment for tourists who are trying to escape the winter blahs. It's supposed to rain all day again tomorrow in Central Florida before letting up.
Wow, parts of that area have already received literally a foot of rain.
Well, we could have gotten it in snow, so I guess better them than us.
You can shovel snow out of the way. That stuff you just have to wait for. Well, we've got some more sunshine on tap for Monday and temperatures in the 40s, so it looks like a nice little break from winter time here. We'll have the details for the new week ahead when we come back.
What you are about to see is a performance revolution. Hybrids from Pioneer, way beyond anything else. This is technology that yields.
Disney's Flubber has bounced into McDonald's and theaters near you for a holiday event that's gonna rock. For a limited time, our very own tempting and cheesy triple cheeseburger is back for just 99 cents. Or you can kick off your morning with a world-famous 99-cent Egg McMuffin. But you better get moving, Flubber. Go, Flubber. Or you'll flub up your chance to get your hands on one.
Of all the great conveniences found in America's best-selling minivan, here's one you rarely get to enjoy. A very generous $1,000 cash back on Grand Caravan. Or you can choose this Dodge Caravan, which includes all this at no extra charge. And after $750 cash back, the price drops to an exceptionally low $17,245. But hurry, because numbers this good get carried away rather quickly. See the friendly Dodge dealer near you.
The news is sponsored in part by the friendly Dodge dealer near you.
Well, Sunday certainly lived up to its name. Lots of sun out there, and we expect more tomorrow. Right now, our clear skies, which have become star-filled and moon-filled, will allow temperatures to drop to about 20. Of course, we have light winds and the snow cover, which will help us cool off quite a bit. Then for tomorrow, more sunshine, 46 degrees for a definitely decent Monday high temperature. Here's a look at our almanac for today, up to 37. A few degrees shy of where we thought we'd be in the upper 30s. We'll show you why in a moment. The low last night, again, coupled the non-existent winds with the fresh snow cover down to 15 degrees. Nothing but sun fell from the sky today, and outside right now with the clear sky, we have 24 degrees, dew point of 23, 96% humidity, pressures on the fall, and again, no wind to speak of. Here's a look at our afternoon satellite, and yes, indeed, plenty of sunshine. This, of course, is all snow. Take a look at the river valleys. Now, how this played to our weather today is we had winds coming in from the west and the southwest. Off to the west of the snowfield, the air was at about 40 to 50 degrees, but you run that over the snow and it cooled itself down to the 30s, so that's why today's highs were in the 30s. Tomorrow, a stronger push of the warm air, so it looks like we'll probably see our temperatures get into the 40s. Right now, we've got low to mid-20s across the area here, but take a look off to the west. Warmer 30s, even some 40s, 42 right now in Bismarck, North Dakota. That's the leading edge of the Pacific air that'll warm us up again tomorrow. Few clouds up to our north. We should probably see a few high clouds from time to time tonight. And then again tomorrow, everything right here is snow cover, reflecting the cold air, and the satellites picking that up. Right now, though, around the Quad Cities, a mostly clear sky, and that's how we'll spend the night with clear skies and temperatures that'll drop to around 20, some of us in the upper teens, but as we get on into tomorrow, then looks like the sun will come up and greet us with some warm breezes from the south and southwest. Again, that'll get our temperatures up into the 40s, just a few high clouds around. A weak frontal system comes through on Tuesday, so it looks like tomorrow we'll finish up with milder temperatures overnight, and then once this front goes by Tuesday, it gives us a few more clouds, just a slight chance of some sprinkles, but I don't think those will materialize. What we should probably see for the week ahead, temperatures staying in the 40s. We'll beat our normal 34 by at least 10 degrees tomorrow, and again, spend most of the new week in the 40s for a nice week that would be above normal, and that will certainly take care of that snow cover. Mostly clear then tonight, 18 to 24. Temperatures when the southwest winds start up again later will probably start to rise toward morning time, and then for tomorrow, mostly sunny, milder for a Monday, 43 to 48. a little bit breezy out there. And on the 6-day planner, yes, we will keep it in the 40s. That'll melt some snow. So overnight, look for a little bit of fog, maybe upper 30s by the end of the week. But look at all that sunshine, Marcia. That is certainly a nice way to make up for those 2 weeks worth of cloudy, gloomy days we just got through.
Yes, like we said, I certainly appreciate the sun, and we're going to really appreciate the warm temperatures.
It's almost going to get boring around here.
Yeah, but pretty sloppy, though.
That's true. Kind of wet on the roads.
All
yeah.
right. Thanks, Eric. In sports, Tom Cornellis says, believe it or not, the Bears still have something to play for. It's not the playoffs, of course, which remain somewhat muddled with only 1 week left. Next on Sunday Sports Watch.
I like biking. She likes blading.
The point is, we're doing less watching.
And more doing.
And we're doing it with our new 98 Ford Contour.
It's got a spoiler, sport wheels, fog lamps,
And a 24-valve Duratec V6.
It's a special sport package just for this area.
Even with all this equipment, it's still over $600 less than last year.
Finally,
A sport we can both enjoy.
Now get $750 cash or $2,900 financing on a 98 Contour.
Just in time for the holidays, money-making, money-saving ideas from Gayle King.
You guys are all in the driver's seat.
From tricks that travel pros don't want you to know.
The fare that they're advertising may not be the cheapest fare.
To saving at the supermarket.
Getting away from the convenience foods, that'll save you 50%.
And finally, getting your life organized.
When I'm going to run those errands, I map it out.
That is an organized girl.
Travel, shop, and get it done cheaper, better, faster. Next, Gayle King.
Monday morning at 9:30 on KWQC TV6.
Tom Cornellis joins us now with Sunday Sports.
Yes, ma'am.
Big football weekend.
Getting down to the nitty-gritty, a workable number. I know you can hardly wait. One more week to go. Just 1 week left in the NFL's grueling 17-game regular season grind, and the playoff puzzle still has a few big pieces missing. 8 teams are now in, while a half dozen others still have hopes of grabbing the 2 remaining invites to the postseason party. First of all, with his playoff plans already in hand, Mike Holmgren hoping to keep his Packers focused at Carolina. But with Brett Favre at the helm, no danger of complacency. Favre fired for 256 yards, 3 TDs. Antonio Freeman and Robert Brooks hooking up on the receiving ends, respectively. Green Bay knocks the Panthers out of the playoff hunt with a 31-10 trouncing. Pack at 12-3, already assured of a first-round bye. Still needing the 49ers to stumble twice for total NFC home field advantage. Meanwhile, the Vikings trying to right their sinking ship behind Randall Cunningham, who steers the Vikes downfield against the visiting Lions. Robert Smith stepping off the final 22 yards, and it's 7-0 Minnesota. It would be 10-7 Vikes at halftime. Detroit Dynamo Barry Sanders snapping off the 60-yard scamper, part of his 138-yard afternoon. And that extends his record of consecutive 100-yard games to 13 and counting. But Detroit is still down 13-7, time running out. Scott Mitchell leads a last-ditch drive, 20 yards to Herman Moore to keep that drive alive with under a minute left. And a pass interference call gets the ball down to the 1. Time running out, last play, Mitchell and Mr. Moore again. And what a way to make it 100 catches 3 years in a row. Only the second player to do it. Lions alive at 8-7 and can get in by beating the Jets, while the Vikings, also 8-7, fall for the 5th week in a row, and they'll need lots of help now to make the playoffs. Meanwhile, the Buccaneers docking in Jersey. Trent Dilfer deciding to play on his injured ankle. Turns out, not a wise decision. Dilfer is picked off not once, but twice by the Jets. Otis, my man, Smith, both going for touchdowns, although bad hands by Horace Copeland gave Smith his first early Christmas gift. The Jets defense pitches its first shutout in 4 years, and Leon Johnson seals the deal on a 31-0 win by taking the second half kickoff back 101 yards. Jets are back in a 3-way tie atop the AFC East at 9-6, while the Bucs, also 9-6, still backed in the playoffs due to Carolina's loss. Well, could there be a rematch of the first Super Bowl from 31 years hence? The Kansas City Chiefs would love nothing better than to play those Packers again, especially the way the Chiefs are playing lately. As seen here on KWQC today, Marty Schottenheimer's Chiefs charging out to San Diego, where Marcus Allen tallies his 10th TD of the season, and number 130 for his career, Rich Gannon. Now 5-1 since replacing the injured Elvis Gerbach. Gannon, 21 yards to Lake Dawson, the dandy diving grab, 14-7.5. And the KCD has not allowed a second-half touchdown in 10 straight games. That's an NFL record. Chiefs unplug the Chargers 29-7 to go to 12-3. and a step closer toward nailing down AFC home field advantage. One more win or a Denver defeat will do the trick. Jimmy Johnson and the Dolphins looking to corral a playoff berth against the lowly Colts, but the Colts, who stunned the Jets last week, closing in with a late kick. Jim Harbaugh throws for 255 yards and 4 scores. The former Illinois tight end Kent Dilger getting the hat trick as Indy goes up 34-0 at halftime. Dan Marino had a dismal day for Miami. 2 fumbles, just 71 yards passing, second worst of his career. And the Colts and the Dolphins, their first whitewash in 10 years, a string of 162 games, 41-0, dropping the Finns into that 3-way tie with the Jets and Patriots, but Miami can clinch by beating New England next week. Do you think Cowboy coach Barry Switzer will find a lump of coal in his stocking, wrapped in walking papers? As he watched Old Bones Boomer Esiason wipe out a 10-0 Dallas lead with a pair of beautiful throws to Darnay Scott for touchdowns, and Corey Dillon added 126 yards on the ground as the Bengals roared for 31 straight points and a 31-24 victory. Dallas drops to 6-9, same as Cincy, and the once proud Cowboys will be on the outside looking in for the first time in 7 seasons. But we need to take a TV timeout. No, we haven't forgotten about the Bears. We'll also hit the mats for the annual Iowa State grappling grudge match in the second half of Sunday Sports Watch coming up.
Hard work wakes the soul. It gets up before dawn. It was invented by farmers. Hard work. It's not too much to ask from your seed. Dekalb, real people working real hard.
It's about time and finding faster ways to take new ideas from drawing board to reality. It's about the search for methods to make machinery last longer or make a long drive seem shorter. It's about making time to look beyond the obvious. And most of all, about taking time to listen. All things change through time. Cars, trucks, and a company.
For as long as children have looked forward to Christmas, someone very special has been there to help spread happiness. That special someone has worked hard every year to bring Christmas to every child, everywhere. And this year, like every year, he needs your help. Give a new unwrapped toy to Toys for Tots with a Marine Corps Reserve.
Well, thanks to the late season resurgence of the Colts, the continued collapse of the Cardinals, the Bears suddenly have something to play for, or not play for, depending on your point of view. The Bears are back in the chase for the #1 NFL draft pick, if they can keep that victory total at 3. Dave Wanstead bringing his 3-11 Bears under the arch to St. Louis with the Rams of Dick Vermeil. Only had 4 wins coming in. This one figured to be a battle of bungles, and early on it was. The Bears' field goal try goes awry. It's blocked by Kevin Collins. Ryan McNeil scoops it up and races 64 yards the other way. Almost scored, but holder Todd Sauerbrunn prevents the TD, only temporarily. Rams score 7-0. Bears bounce back, though. Curtis Conway shakes off pass interference, a defender, and everything else, and still finds the end zone. 55 yards on the scoring play. It's 7-7. Eric Kramer doing the tossing. He played the first half. Rick Meyer the second. This was a true comedy of errors. 10 turnovers the teams combined. Bears even tried the old end-around pass to an offensive guard play, but not legal. Bears bear down, though, and pull out a pulsating 13-10 win. That's win number 4, and they fall a game behind now Arizona in the draft pick derby. Jaguars back in the Super Bowl hunt, 10-5. They bounce the Bills. Atlanta knocks Philly out, 5th in a row for the Falcons. Playing out the string, Ravens cap the Oilers, and the Seahawks rally past the Raiders. Mike Ditka's Saints have won 6 ball games, my friends, caging the Cards and it's the Broncos and Niners on Monday night. Well, it's lost some of the luster from its recent grappling glory years, but when Iowa and Iowa State hit the wrestling mats, it's always intense, and for the last 21 meetings, it's always Iowa in the up position. But for the first time in those last 21 duels, there was no Dan Gable scowling on the Hawkeyes sideline. Jim Zaleski, the interim head Hawk now this season, but the beat goes on as Iowa got early wins in the lower weights from Mark Ironside and Jeff McGinnis. Then a huge lift when Doug Schwab picked up 6 points when Cyclone standout Dwight Hinson, a 3-time All-American, was forced to forfeit due to severe leg cramps. That snuffed out any Cyclone upset hopes. Major wins by Joe Williams and Justin Decker paved the way for a 28-10 Iowa victory. Hawkeyes go to 2-0 in the young season. Cyclones suffer their first loss in 4 meets. And while we're wrestling, things are Ram tough out in Riverdale. The Rams hosting their annual Wrestling Invitational this weekend. 12 teams involved, lots of grapplers, lots of coaches, lots of strategy, as the sport requires a special kind of savvy.
We still try to emphasize the team, but a little bit more of the individual at the tournaments. We really concentrate a lot on the team effort as far as dual meets go. I let the kids have a little bit more freedom during our invitational tournaments.
I can't spend every minute with every wrestler, so I've got, out here today, we've got 10 guys. Usually we have 14, and so it's kind of difficult to keep them motivated the whole time. But they kind of feed off themselves, too. Once they see one of their teammates go, then that really helps get motivated and helps, you know, get the team fired up.
We've got some college round ball on a Sunday. The 5th-ranked Lady Illini fall to number 10 Stanford 91-78. The Ambrose Queen Bees hold off Carthage by 7. Men's hoops, Northern Iowa's Panthers sidestep Tennessee State by 2. Tony Bruce at Davenport had 15. VMI upsets Penn State. Notre Dame slays the Drexel Dragons by 8. And Marquette wins the Battle of Milwaukee 69-56. Who won the NCAA Men's Soccer Championship, you're asking, Marcia? Well, ask no more. The UCLA Bruins snapping 80 minutes of exciting scoreless soccer as Seth George boots home 2 goals in a 2-minute span for a 2-0 victory over Virginia in what is considered a mild upset. North Carolina won the women's NCAA title last weekend. And finally, a little golf to a spicy Midwest winter's day. Diners Club match play event in the California desert. That's where Julie Inkster loves playing in the sand. So does her partner, Dottie Pepper. They teamed to defeat the tandem of Nancy Lopez and Laura Davies 3-2. Inkster and Pepper were so hot, not one of their 4 matches went 18 holes. In the men's matches, Steve Elkington's hot putter the difference. He and Jeff Maggart holding off Tom Lehman and Duffy Waldorf. And Jay Siegel and Gil Morgan were the seniors winners.
We covered it all.
I think we got it all in.
Good job. Thanks, Tom.
Thank you, ma'am.
When we come back, a look at your wake-up weather, plus meet a moose who's all dressed up for the holidays, purely by accident. We'll be right back.
Play for up to $1 million cash today and every day with Daily Millions. Welcome to tonight's official Daily Millions drawing. Play Daily Millions by selecting 2 numbers from each of 21 numbered red, white, and blue balls. Tonight's official winning numbers are red number 7 and red 17, white 10 and white 3, blue 4 and blue 16. Matching all 6 numbers by color wins $1 million cash. Every day is a special day when you play Daily Millions. Join us again tomorrow.
The Heartland, Quad Cities, USA, home of KWQC TV6, the only place you'll find Martha Stewart at 9, Gayle King at 9:30, and Lisa at 10. In the afternoon, join Oprah at 3 and Paula Sands at 4:30. Then cap your nights with Jay Leno at 10:35. People you want to know and watch. You'll find them just one place, only on KWQC TV6, the station that cares for you.
I work for home health care, and I take care of elderly people who are unable to leave their homes. At Christmas time, my patients need a lot of extra help. With Ada, for example, I'll sit down and make out a list with her. The first place that comes to mind for either of us is Walmart. Gifts, decorations, perfume. She really enjoys Walmart because of the prices, and it's inexpensive and within her budget. Sometimes I feel like Santa's little helper. I couldn't possibly do it without Walmart.
Connect the numerical Athenium stabilizer to the Suspusian CPX? Frankly, I don't need a higher form of intelligence to make smart decisions. No offense. Now during the Chevy Make Your Money Count year-end event, the Smart Buy is Cavalier. With features usually found on more expensive cars for half the price. Plus now, get 2.9 APR financing or cash back on Cavalier. Check out great offers on other 98 Chevy cars and trucks. You want to look smart? Get a Cavalier. You want to be smart? Get to the Chevy Make Your Money Count year-end event now. And save big.
A moose in Alaska is feeling a little lightheaded tonight. That's because he got tangled up in a decorated Christmas tree during a stop for a snack. While munching, the moose's antlers got a hold of a strand of lights. And as he walked off, he took the lights with him. I guess you could say he was a little caught up in the holiday spirit.
Mrs. Moose is asking all kinds of questions tonight. Looks like it'll be 20s when you wake up tomorrow with the sun on the rise, and it'll be a nice, bright Monday.
Sounds good. Thanks for joining us this Sunday. Have a good Monday, everyone.